Bit of a different upload today. PayPal buyer protection. Straight into it, I purchased an MPC from eBay. I already have the larger MPC XSE, but I wanted something different. This is smaller and this is battery portable. And I paid for it through PayPal. So like you do, you purchase something and then you wait a few days and you hope to see it or you hope to hear something from the seller to say they've dispatched it, etc. I went back on eBay some days later and there was a message from the seller saying they were looking for the charger. This MPC comes with its own dedicated charger from AKAI. I don't know if it's an AKAI brand charger, but it is a charger for the unit. Thought nothing of it. They're looking for the charger, they've misplaced it, and I'll wait a few more days. I got it at a very good price. I could have purchased the charger, but I thought I just want the whole package. I don't want to have to find a charger and pay a bit more. I just want everything that was expected from that eBay sale. Went back on eBay and asked the seller had they found the charger, had they dispatched it yet. Although on eBay, you do have a timeline of the purchase. You will have paid, then I think next dispatched, and sometimes the seller can enter a tracking number for that item from whatever courier or delivery company they've chosen. So you can track estimated delivery time and date. And then I think there's out for delivery and then at the end delivered. The seller replied saying that they hadn't found the charger yet. And I just thought, you know what? I really can't wait much more. I think it might have been a week and a half, something like that. I messaged the seller and said, can I cancel the transaction? I think I'll try and get one of these elsewhere. The seller replied, agreed. They were very sorry. They apologized. And they said that they'd refund me. So all is well. This is where the problem starts on my part. This was in April. There was so much going on in April. I knew I was going to get my refund, so I thought, you know what, I'll go and buy a brand new one. So I bought a brand new one, problem solved. This MPC is battery operated, so you just charge the unit and you can use it many hours, on the fly, on the go, anywhere. I could take it on flights. You know, some of these flights sometimes are 8 hours long, 16 hours, and I'm going to Australia. I'm not interested in the movies on flights. I'm not really interested in listening to the music either. It's usually pants. So if I create a song, create an idea, I can be on that for 3-4 hours. And that's so much of your flight taken up. Plus your meals, plus the odd kip you might get on the flight. Before you know it, most of your journey's up. So problem solved, I've got a new one. Now this is summertime. You're going out lots of places. Loads of DJ jobs. Loads of planning. Meeting lots of couples. My time is so occupied. Busy, busy, busy. This is really dreadful. Now, many months later, I purchased something else on eBay and the item didn't meet the description. Inside eBay, there are many options when things don't necessarily go right, whether you're purchasing something or selling something. There's some kind of resolution center to resolve a problem. You tick a category, you start comms with the seller or the buyer. And usually there's an outcome where you both agree to something, or if not, eBay steps in and sorts things out. Over the years, eBay have been fantastic, and I've had no issues with the outcomes. They've been perfect and excellent support. Never had a problem. Now, I purchased the MPC in April. Recently, after the wedding season's over, I decided to take stock of everything. Time to relax a bit and just sort things out. So with the most recent transaction that didn't go right, I just checked on my PayPal to see if I got my refund, and I did. Now, I decided to go back to April. So this is October. I'm looking at a transaction in April, and I managed to find it, and I've seen the minus of the amount leaving my PayPal account, which was funded from my bank account, and I couldn't find the plus of the refund. I started to get worried now. This is around 6 months later from the transaction. At this point, eBay's resolution center or having a problem through eBay, that had closed. It doesn't open for very long after a transaction, although there is a nice big window to sort out any problems. Checked my PayPal again, fine-tooth comb looking through all the transactions, and I could not find a plus of the money coming in to my PayPal. I started to get worried. I checked my bank account, which funds my PayPal, And I was looking in there for all the money in and money out of my account just to make sure that it might have gone there. It hadn't. I felt sick. I was so angry with myself, just not keeping tabs on things, allowing this to happen to me. That day, I messaged the seller through eBay, "Did you give me a refund?" Although I was aware that they had not. That day, no reply. The next day, no reply. The following day, no reply. Stepping it up this time, I messaged the seller again through eBay, "You didn't give me a refund. Where is my refund? I do not have an MPC. You have my money. Where is my MPC? We both agreed on a refund. Where is my money?" Keeping it polite just in case they had forgotten. Still no reply. 4 days. I knew here I never had a leg to stand on, and it's a sick feeling when you know someone's had you over. Not keeping my eye on the ball. Furious with myself. Thinking to myself all along, this seller was hoping that I'd maybe not checked my account and just waited until the whole transaction had finished and timed out and closed so they could get my money and con me. And I was thinking, was this their intention all along? They played me, they beat me, they robbed me. But at no point did I expect this during the comms, because the comms were so good. They were informing me that they couldn't find the charger. Then later on, they agreed to give me a refund. When I cancelled the transaction, I should have checked. They did not cancel. And when I looked on the eBay page, it said cancellation failed. And in the timeline of the purchase, it had paid. It never had dispatched filled in. It never had out for delivery filled in, and it didn't have delivered filled in. Furthermore, it definitely didn't have refunded. So I knew, you know what, that was it. I knew it was pointless, but I just kept checking the PayPal page to see if anywhere in that timeline from April to October there just might have been a plus sign with the refund. Nothing. Kept studying the page. Can I email the person direct? I don't think their email address is even there. However, at the foot of the page of that transaction, they had report a problem with a little red hazard sign. And to the left of that, it says, you may be eligible for buyer protection. So this is October. And it said, I think the expiry date or the closing date had November something on it. Although I saw it, I thought, I've got no chance, because I should have sorted all this through eBay, because all the tools are there to resolve a problem. I had failed to do that within the allocated time. So I thought, that's it. A couple of days later, I decided to click on that report a problem. And clicking on it, it asks questions, maybe a link to the item you purchased, when you purchased it, and all these other things like pictures of the item that you was meant to be buying. And obviously, if you check your eBay account, it has purchases and it has pictures. So I attached all the pictures I could get. I screen grabbed all the comms from me and the seller, showing that both of us agreed that I would get a refund and that the seller was sorry. So there was all proof there that the transaction went this way and that it was a genuine sale that had gone wrong, rather than a easy transaction of seller selling and buyer buying. Filled it all in, packing every single bit of information I could get. Only screen grabs and I think a description of how the transaction went. Pressed submit and sent that off. I thought, I've got no chance. And a couple of days later, I looked at the PayPal page again, looked at the transaction. The message said, with that transaction, they are waiting for the seller to respond. So I thought, okay, this is a lot better than getting, sorry, there is nothing we can do because you should have resolved this in eBay. I kept checking my PayPal and it said the same thing, waiting for seller to respond. So days after, there was still nothing from the seller. Exactly the same as what I was getting when I was trying to message the seller through eBay messages. Days had passed and then later on it said, from PayPal support, if the seller does not respond, by a certain date, I will get my refund in full. Wow. I could not believe this. This was music to my ears. I felt good now. Obviously, I kept waiting for the days for the seller to respond. And the day before, still nothing. The day after, nothing. And then there was a message that I will be receiving my refund in full and I'll receive it within 5 days. Now I felt real good. So I waited and waited the 5 days, and I looked at my PayPal account and there was still not the refund there. So I thought, what's going on here? And then I waited, I think, a day after. And then I said, let me just check my bank account. I checked my bank account and there was the money in my account that PayPal had promised in full. PayPal are good, man. Maybe your credit cards and maybe your debit cards that your bank issue and your transactions are also protected in this way, but I didn't know that PayPal would protect a purchase 6 months later from the date of purchase. So I thought I just had to create this upload because there's somebody out there like me, hopefully not, that has had a transaction, nothing's happened, they've received nothing, they thought their money's gone. There is still hope. If you pay through PayPal, just check the bottom of the page. I don't know how far back it goes, but check. And if you still got report a problem and that window is still open to report that problem, it does have an expiry date, I think, of the time when you can actually act on the transaction. Click on it, give it a go. If not you, tell somebody else. If I can help one person, oh, that will fill me with joy. Lesson learned, don't be stupid like me. Keep tabs on everything. I don't know what happened to the seller. Maybe this seller doesn't live their life through eBay and they actually have a life and they just happen to sell a few things and that's it. And they never touch it, never look at it. But I think eBay is connected to your email. So any messages you get through eBay, I'm sure they go through your email. I don't know whether the person's alive or whatever, but the comms just died. They might have even meant to refund me, but totally forgot. But I got my refund and I'm happy. If you like the upload, please do like. And you never know, maybe you could even subscribe. Take care.